All the Premier League curses explained. Aaron Ramsey scores a goal. 3 days later, Osama bin Laden is dead. Coincidence, right? Then he scores against Tottenham. Steve Jobs dies. He scores against Marseille. Gaddafi falls. For a decade, every time this man scored or hit the net, some famous person stopped breathing. But that wasn't even the darkest curse in the Premier League. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you the curse that destroyed more careers than injuries. And it's probably active right now. Manchester United's number 7. At Old Trafford, the number 7. 7 Bess, Cantona, Beckham, Ronaldo in his prime. The most iconic jersey in English football. Since Cristiano left in 2009, that number became a career graveyard. Michael Owen took it first. Injured, finished, a shadow of himself. 17 goals in 3 seasons. Pathetic for a Ballon d'Or winner. Antonio Valencia wore it for 1 season and gave it back as if it burned. That should have been the warning. Di Maria arrived for 60 million in 2014. A British record, he took the number 7 and left within a year. One of the most expensive failures in Premier League history. And then there's the case of Pai. Young, talented, full of promise. During 18 months, 7 goals. 7 like the number that destroyed him. Alexis Sanchez, £500,000 per week. The highest paid failure in history. 5 goals in 45 matches. His best performance was playing the piano in a presentation video. Cavani almost broke the curse. 17 goals, important moments, experience. But injuries devoured him. 26 league matches in 2 years. The curse always finds a way to strike. Even Cristiano Ronaldo couldn't overcome it, even after his return. Goals, yes, but in the end, it was chaos, and he had a bitter exit in 2022. Mason Mount took the number 7 in 2023, and he spent his first season in the treatment room. Since 2009, 8 players have worn the number 7, and excluding Cavani. They combined for just 14 goals in the Premier League. It was only 14 goals, that was the number Ronaldo would score in just half a season. The curse of Aaron Ramsey. May 2011. Ramsey scores a goal against Manchester United. Arsenal fans celebrate. The next day, Milan gets shot in Pakistan. Strange, but possible. October of the same year, goal against Tottenham. Steve John dies 3 days later. Now it really starts to hurt, and at the end of October, he scores against Marseille. Gaddafi is executed 24 hours later. You see the pattern because the fans did see it. Between 2009 and 2019, every time Ramsey scored a goal, a celebrity would die within days. I'm not exaggerating. Whitney Houston died the day he scored in 2012. Paul Walker died exactly when Ramsey scored. He scored a double against Cardiff in 2013. Robin Williams, 24 hours after a goal against City. But 2016 was his year of horror. Debbie Vaughan dies the day after he scored against Sunderland. 4 days later, Alan Rickman passes away after a goal against Liverpool. The list gets disturbing. Nicky Hayden, Rocky Moore, Stephen Hawking, and the hardest blow. In March 2019, he scores against Tottenham. Katie Flynn, from The Prodigy, dies 2 days later. Even a British betting house went as far as to offer odds on which celebrity would die in the next 72 hours after a goal by Ramsey. The curse followed him even after leaving Arsenal. He scored for the Rangers in 2022, and a Brown died. Ramsey himself called it ridiculous in 2015, but the deaths kept happening. The armband that sends off captains. For 16 years, being captain of Arsenal was like holding a ticking time bomb. Patrick Vieira did well, a legend of the team. Then he left for Juventus. Thierry Henry, captain from 2005 to 2007, but Barcelona called, and he didn't hesitate to leave. Fabregas, captain from 2008 to 2011 to Barcelona. Van Persie, captain for 1 season, and in 2012 he left for United. Aubameyang, disciplinary problems. Stripped of the captaincy in December 2021, sent to Barcelona. 8 captains in 16 years, almost all of them ended badly. The armband came with an expiration date and a one-way ticket from London. Then there's Odegaard, who took it in 2022 and broke the departure trend, but can't win the Premier League. Arsenal's title drought continues. Will Odegaard also end up on a plane to Spain? We'll have to see. Chelsea and the number 9 that destroys strikers. Chelsea has a problem, and it's the number. Since Jimmy Floyd left in 2004, Chelsea's number 9 has ruined more careers than injuries. Fernando Torres kicked off the show. Liverpool's clinical finisher became a £50 million paperweight. 45 goals in 182 matches. His only memorable moment was that goal against Barcelona, where Odegaard and Neville lost their minds. Falcao. 1 goal in 12 matches. Morata started brilliantly. 10 goals in 11 matches. Then he only scored one more goal in the entire second half of the season. Higuain, 5 goals in 14 matches. Lukaku came back after scoring 64 goals in 95 matches with Inter. Wearing Chelsea's number 9, he only managed 8 goals in the Premier League throughout the whole season. Thomas Tuchel admitted it openly. Nobody wants to touch the number 9. Aubameyang arrived in 2022. 3 goals in 21 matches. The number was vacant for many years until Liam Delap took it in 2025. Is he brave, or did he not hear the stories? And what makes this curse different from the others is the quality. They weren't random gambles. Torres, Falcao, Morata, Higuain, Lukaku, Aubameyang. They were all proven goal scorers who forgot how to score goals at Chelsea. The truth is, that's a little strange. Mourinho's third season is never good. Jose Mourinho wins titles everywhere, but his third season should set off alarm bells. Chelsea 2015 champions the previous season. They start as relegation candidates, and he's fired in December. Manchester United 2018 horrible football. Poor results, out in December. With Tottenham, they didn't even let him finish. Fired in April 2021. 6 days before the League Cup final. The pattern is always identical. Explosive start, spectacular success. But then the players stop responding. Everything collapses. The media circus becomes unbearable. Mourinho comes with a self-destruct timer after 30 months Liverpool and their 30 years of agony. Their last league title before 2020 was in 1990. 30 years of drought and false hopes. In 2014, Gerrard's slip against Chelsea. That moment when the captain who gave you everything falls and gives away the title. It still hurts. And when they finally won it in 2020, there was COVID. It meant they lifted the trophy in an empty stadium. No fans, no parade, no celebrations. It was basically a bittersweet victory. Even when the curse was broken, it had one last cruel twist. But in 2025, they won it again. With fans present. Sometimes curses just need to die slowly. Everton and the manager problem. Since Moyes left for United in 2013, Everton has burned through managers like firewood. Roberto Martinez, 3 seasons Koeman, 16 months Allardyce, 8 months. Silva, 18 months. Ancelotti left for Real Madrid after a year. Benitez, 6 months, and it was the shortest tenure in Everton's history. Lampard, 11 months. Deitch, fired in January 2025 after 2 years. And it gets even worse. In 2024, a 10-point penalty for breaking financial rules, reduced to 6 points on appeal. Then another 2-point deduction for another violation. And it was the first club sanctioned under the Premier League's sustainability rules. So they lost 124 million in 3 years when the limit is 105. The perfect example of how not to run a football club. Constant rebuilding while Liverpool, their biggest rival and neighbor, collects trophies. Moyes returned in January 2025. A 2.5-year contract. And Everton managed to avoid relegation for now. All this after 8 coaches failed to replicate what he did in 11 years? Could it be that this coach is the only one who can save them? But anyway, here's the truth that nobody wants to admit. Curses become real when people believe in them. If you liked this video, I have thousands of videos just as good. Just click the playlist on the screen. Remember to comment, subscribe, and like.